coach. We've had 2 coaches fired. Season's 3-4 weeks in. Herm Edwards at Arizona State, Scott Frost at Nebraska. Seems to me more coaches getting fired early in the season, certainly during the season. What do you think that's all about?
Yeah, we had actually a conversation at Fox Big Noon Kickoff staff, and we're going through that, and we're still working on the numbers. But 20 years ago, in the decade, 10 to 20 years ago, I want to say it was 3. A real small number of coaches got fired mid-season.
Right.
Now it's been 33 or 35 in the last decade. And once again, my numbers might be off a little, but we're closing that. But just regardless, why is that happening?
Yeah, what's changed?
And I think there's 2 things. I think the number one issue is just the amount of money rolling through college athletics. And you say, okay, what's that mean? That means these television contracts. That means coaches are getting paid a lot of money, so you'd think they wouldn't get fired. But buyouts don't seem to be that big a deal now. So you can see there, like Nebraska had a chance to wait a few weeks and buyout will go down at $7 or $8 million. Get rid of them right now. That doesn't seem fiscally responsible, but go, move on. So the expectations when you pay someone too much is given, much is expected. You pay someone a lot of money, expect them to win right away. A lot of programs don't give teams an opportunity to build, especially if they're down. It takes a while to build an organization or a team. So that's number one, is just the amount of money. Buyouts don't seem to be that big a deal. And the one thing that the footnote of that is some schools are in fiscal issues.
Right.
They're not firing their coach.
Right.
And we discussed that earlier, that there's some coaches hanging on, and just because they can't afford it, the athletic department goes under.
Right.
The second thing, and this is interesting, is the early signing date changed the world in a lot of areas. Early commitments, et cetera, early signing, early official visits. Kids are taking, sophomores in high school and juniors are taking official visits in spring.
Right.
But when in middle December, when you have an early signing period, you can't disregard that. It used to be coach the season, make a decision if the staff stays, good, get ready to go recruit for February. If you bring in new staff, take your time, hire a guy in December, he has a month and a half to go get ready and recruit for the signing date. Now that's over. So you have to get a staff in place ASAP for signing date.
I would add one other thing is who's available. A lot of the hot coaches are hot everywhere in the country. It doesn't matter where you coach. Everyone has an agent, so agents pick up the phone as soon as there's an opening, and they're not only calling one school, they're calling as many schools that have openings. So I think probably those 3 reasons probably why we're seeing it happen so much.
And these next, I think the next month and a half, you'll see more schools do that, and then it's a fist fight to see if they get the pecking order of the highest wanted coaches right now.
Yeah, interesting. Sign of the times changing.